right. Hello, hello. Welcome everyone. All right, we've got a great webinar today, or a great show. Let's call it that rather than the webinar. A good conversation, and we're looking forward to the next hour with everyone who's coming in. So, welcome. If you are coming in, feel free to say hello and tell us where you're coming in from. It's always cool to see what part of the world you're in. Again, if you're going to introduce yourself and you have a burning question, throw it in there, because we're going to pull all the questions together and we're going to have a great Q&A towards the end as well. Let's get into it. So, hey, Ellen, good to see you. And Adam, good to see you as well. And we'll give it a couple of minutes for people to come in. So please feel free to say hello in the chat, and we'll get going. So, all right. So this is I think it's the fourth episode in this series. It's been an awesome series. We've had a lot of engagement and feedback from audiences that are coming back every single time we have this. It's called Behind the Amazon Curtain, the Elite Secrets of Agencies and how those secrets can help you grow your brands on Amazon. So the real concept behind this is, we support agencies as a software, and we bring our partners on, and it's really about how do we showcase some of the strategies, the ideas that agencies are using to grow pretty impressive brands in the Amazon space and beyond. So we want to share those with you, whether you're an agency listening, whether you're a service provider or clearly a brand. We want to make sure that you get some knowledge out of today's session. All right, a couple more people coming in. So we've got Anil, hello, Sergey, Jean-Pierre, Angela. All right, guys, seeing all coming. Oh, there, Adam, Virginia, thank you. Someone, all right, Jean-Pierre from France. Good. All right, guys, so it's going to be cool to see where everyone's coming in from. This is how today's going to roll. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes just handing it over and introducing the panel today and the speakers. And then we're going to go into 10 to 15 minutes each, presenting an idea, a concept from our area of expertise or experience as an agency to really help you with your Amazon growth. And then we're going to roll around to a Q&A at the end, where you really have our ear and you can ask us any questions. We already have some questions that have come in, and we'll go through a Q&A panel. There are some offers, so if you want to get in touch with any agency here or anyone here, there'll be links that you can connect to, and we can just keep rolling and helping you guys grow in 2025. All right, so let's get into today. We've got an awesome list of speakers here. Obviously, you've got me, which hopefully a lot of you know from the list distribution and getting you onto this webinar. But I'm Jon Tilley, the CEO of ZonGuru. I'm going to talk a little bit about ZonGuru in a second. But we also have Mike Frekey from IGPPC. I want to give him a second to talk about his background. It's pretty awesome. And then we have Dylan coming in from Birmingham with Omirank. And that's going to be cool to hear his thoughts, because their focus is also beyond Amazon, right? And how you as a brand can collectively work on the different channels to help you grow on those channels, and obviously Amazon as well. So Mike and Dylan, if you want to introduce yourself, give some background, and then tell us what you're going to be talking about today, we'll go with that, and then I'll get going.
Sounds good.
All right, Mike, you go for it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, John, for having me, and hello, everybody. So officially, hi, I'm Mike Frekey. I'm a managing partner at IGPPC. I've been in the Amazon advertising space for almost a decade now, mix of agency life as well as in-house, highlighted by 3 years as head of advertising at Perch in the aggregator space. I think one of my claims to fame is I've been managing over $80 million in ad budget over my career. So at the end of the day, if you want to know how to spend your money, like to think I can help out with that. And in today's conversation, I'm actually going to try to talk about some of the free tools that Amazon provides you to dive deeper into keyword research in what's really a good starting point.
Awesome. And Mike, you're calling in from
I'm calling in from Boston. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So glad to have you. I mean, I'm super excited to have you on here. Obviously, IGPPC is really known in the space for having a fantastic PPC program that brands can connect with, but also your Perch experience. We have a deep connection with Perch. purchasers use our software. And also one of Mike's teammates, Jon Tilley, is now part of ZonGuru. And just understanding how Perch grew brands and the systems and processes they created were pretty awesome. So excited to have you on for sure, and to hear what you're gonna talk to us about. Dylan Lamb, all right, Birmingham. Tell us what's going on. Tell us your background and what you're gonna talk on today.
Hi guys, hi John, hi Mike. So I'm Dylan, the Omirank CEO, the founder as well. So I'm here today to help you guys understand what does it mean by scaling a brand, like what to do before then, and what is the preparation until the scaling stage, like what's the requirement and how to tackle the problem. As an Amazon seller, we faces like different challenges, how we can tackle them by using multi-channel strategy to actually exceed in a higher multiple.
Awesome. Give us a little bit of your background there, Dylan, because I know it's pretty crazy interesting. So maybe just tell people about your journey, maybe before Omirank, and a little bit of your background.
Sure. So about me, I of course I'm Chinese. I'm a Chinese seller back in the days, and right now I'm also a 7-figures owner as well. I have like 4 different brands, and I launch around 8 times on Kickstarter. We also have clients to launch on Kickstarter for more than 50 times already. So that gave us like understand like just relying on Amazon and Amazon PPC is not enough anymore. That's why we're expanding to a full service agency. We try to help out different sellers to understand how they should just not depend on Amazon, not putting all the egg in one basket, but try to diversify the risk outside of Amazon.
Yeah, 100%. And that strategy of, are you just selling products on Amazon, or are you actually an e-commerce brand, is answered by that, right? If it's a good place to start on Amazon or even grow into, but certainly you want to be bigger than one channel. So I'm looking forward to hearing your talk. Real quick, what was one of your biggest brand success stories on Kickstarter?
We launched a product that well, if I talk about that would be talking about our brand already. So yeah, but like we sell travel adapter. So we literally in a electronic 3Cs brands, 3Cs category. So we launch every travel adapter and partner with manufacturer. We try to get the latest technologies and then put it on Kickstarter. They are actually not really innovative product, but then we use Kickstarter as in like a marketing channel to promote our product. So we can turn any like nearly innovative product into marketing campaign on Kickstarter and generate around, so far we generate around more than 1 million on Kickstarter, and now we are multi-figure, 7-figure brands on Amazon as well.
Yeah, that's a really, I'd love you to talk more about that strategy. And I've seen there's actually businesses that have created similar to yours. There's one in the US that uses Kickstarter as that marketing channel. So you don't have to just be this new product innovation idea, but like obviously you have to have a unique USP, but using that as one of your channels to really get you going before you launch is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to hearing that. Okay, let's get into it. So any other comments, questions, feel free to put that in there. We have Mike, we have Dylan. So, if you see questions come in that are specific for you and you want to hit it right there in the comment section, just go for it. I'm going to kick off today and talk about what I want to talk about today. And I'm going to share some slides to get into it. So Evo, who's our partnerships managers in the background, keep me on points, but I want to talk for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and then we'll go from there. So let me present. All right. Tell me, Mike, Dylan, can you guys see my screen?
Yep, all good.
Okay, great. All right. So as I said, I'm going to just introduce ZonGuru in case you don't know us. We've been around since 2016. Before that, I was involved in the agency world for many years. And then I also created my own brands and sold them on Amazon. And, at a high level, ZonGuru is an operational tool set for brands and for agencies, helping you scale on Amazon. we have about 18 tools and many different types of reports that you can use. And really our flagship area that we've had a lot of world's firsts in is around keyword intelligence and around SEO listing optimization on the keyword intelligence side. And I think, Mike's going to talk a lot to this, but, using search query performance, brand analytics, contextual keyword analysis, how competitors ranking. We were the first to do that in the space. And then on the listing side, we were the first company in the Amazon space to integrate with ChatGPT. In fact, we were one of the first to connect with the API data back in the day, which is back in the day is like 2 years ago or less. And we've also, contextual SEO, being able to compare it and be able to see who's got the best listings, on page one and how your listing compares. And then using AI intelligence to optimize that. We're also Rufus optimized, understanding what Rufus is looking for and including that listing. So plenty there for you to check out. And again, we have tools in many different areas. And in fact, what's kind of a little weird about today is that I'm not talking about a tool that we have actually. I'm going to be talking about PPC from our experience as the managed services part of our business for some of our bigger brands and how we help them scale. Clearly our focus is how do we help you organically and how do we help you grow organically over time. But to do that, it's obviously SEO, but on top of that, it's PPC, it's promotion, it's pricing, it's all the levers that you have to grow yourself organically over time. And we have deep experience on the PPC side, and I want to talk a little bit about our experience and what we're seeing from that side. So it's kind of the reverse of Mike, and then Mike's talking more to keyword intelligence. So it'll be cool to kind of comment on each other's section when we get into it. All right, so what I'm going to talk about, the PPC automation trap, why AI isn't enough to win on Amazon. And I think if you're in the Amazon space, obviously clearly you're listening right here. Most of you will either obviously use Seller Central to manage and manually run your PPC campaigns, or some automation software out there. There's many different kinds of automation software, but at a high level, there's a bidding engine that has some form of AI intelligence behind it that helps you with bid optimization. Now, there's different companies. Some is actual, some form of AI or claim of AI. Maybe it's just, kind of a set of rules. But essentially, it's a black box where you're really literally, setting some few objectives, and then the black box is really doing the optimization and the bidding to whatever AI rules they have within there. And you don't have access to that. So, that's one of the things that can be good, especially at scale and for bigger brands. But it can also be challenging. And I want to talk a little bit about. I'm not saying that AI automation software is bad in all cases, but there are some challenges with it. And on the agency side, you're looking for the balance of how do you control and help brands in a volatile market, but also have the ability to do things more efficiently and at scale and ease, right? And there's a balance on those. So the problem with AI-driven PPC, from our perspective and through our testing and using, is the lack of transparency, right? In that that AI bidding automation engine is a black box. You can't learn from it. So as an agency, when you're making when those bid optimizations are happening, whether you're improving or not, you're not understanding at a deep level what is actually happening. And so without that transparency, our engineers specifically and our team cannot learn at the pace that they want to learn, right? So that's a big challenge for us in using those softwares. One size automation doesn't fit all. And I think this is a really important one, is that certain brands that are more consistent, I think AI automation works really well, can help you scale. But when there is volatility in the market, or it's not, the brand is scaling or trying to figure it out, or there's big events that are happening in the space, the reaction time to that is somewhat slow, right? And that's what I talk about here, delayed response to market changes. And then the final one is just, potentially loss of control, where that AI is making decisions. And I think the biggest thing that we've experienced from it, and while it has worked, not at the level that we want to work, not at the speed that we want to work. And I think it's that saying of the tail wags the dog, right? Where we might be making certain strategic decisions around a brand, objectives like, spend ACOS tacos, etc. But in terms of getting the AI to react at the speed that we need, it only reacts much later, and it might react in a bigger way than we expected. So the control isn't there that we really needed. So what have we done? We've actually found a system, and building a proprietary system ourselves, where we're partnering with a technology that gives us full access to that, AI black box bidding engine, where we have the ability to set all of those rules ourselves in a scalable, intelligent way, and we have access to some AI components of that, and obviously just straight rule based that allows us scalability, and a lot of flexibility around the kind of rules that we can set. So we've been using this, testing it, and we've had some fantastic results with it. Again, we're not offering it as a software. We have it as part of our agency services side, and we're seeing some great results. So I really want to just share this concept with you. If you're doing it manually, great. If you need more scale in that, how do you do that potentially, and look at alternatives of just straight AI automation software? This could be an option for you. Controlling budgets, yes. What's good for us is we have engineers with stellar DNA that are actually building the rules. So, we've got this amazing platform where we can create as many kind of rules as we want and be creative around that, and come from a data engineering perspective, and test things and see what works. And that works really well for us because we have that strong engineering stellar DNA background. We've come up with some pretty cool bidding strategies that are pretty unique in the space, like a velocity-based optimization. So it allows us to be much quicker in terms of making changes, not a long window look back, real-time adjustments, and then obviously good performance, right? So these are some things that we're doing on our side, which are pretty interesting. The first one is that this is a big challenge we've seen with some brands. It's like when you have really good organic placements, how do you make sure that your PPC campaigns are not cannibalizing your organic? And if you can have a rule base that can actually be based on organic rank, that's pretty strong. And so this has been very effective for us, both at growing brands, but also profits, where you can, if you're obviously in a high organic rank, can you bid lower, in a position, so that you're not cannibalizing that organic placement, right? And then obviously if you're not, then we can bid higher. So, and spend more, right? So, that's a pretty cool rule. The velocity based is really interesting, which is we're basing our decisions in terms of optimization on actual metrics, which is clicks, orders, impressions. We're not just looking at a time gap, which a lot of the softwares do. They look at a look back period of a certain amount of time to make decisions, right? So especially in spikes, when you've got, like, say, Prime Day, and you need to make decisions much quicker, whether you change bid or whether you negative match, velocity base is working really well on that front. And then obviously dynamic look back periods. So these are some of the interesting things that we're doing. And of course, we have a lot more rules and a lot more things that we're testing that we're bringing to the system to help brands obviously scale revenue and profits. Some good results that we're having on existing brands. So these are not brand new brands, but like scale, like, 250% increase in profits. These are the kind of things that we can do in the space. Now, clearly that's not with every brand, but existing brands that you can do that with, something's working for sure. And we've got a lot of these case studies, which is great. So how does this work? Obviously, we do an audit for you guys. We can audit it on the PPC and the organic side. I'm going to talk about that in a second. We develop these custom rules to suit your business, which is really important. So it's customized, and then we implement these strategies and help you grow. And then obviously we change and monitor it. So if you guys want to get access to this, I think that the best way to do that is to access our organic growth audits. This is an audit where we really look at your business. We try and understand your organic growth potential. What are you doing today with organic sales? Where can you grow to? And part of that is obviously using the lever of PPC and how we would use that to grow you. And we'll get into deeper details on what is the right customized PPC strategy for you as well. Don't forget, we have those strengths I talked about around our listing optimization tool. If you're just a brand, you want to check it out, you can literally sign up to our software, and you can run your listing versus your top competitors and see where you're strong, where you're weak, and where you're not optimized for, and how to optimize for Rufus. And that takes literally under 2 minutes. So you can check that out. It's free. You can sign up and try that. And then obviously, if you are a bigger brand and you want to look at using our managed services, you can connect with us. We do this kind of opportunity audit reports, which is pricing. It's your organic positions, the revenue you're getting from your sales today, what should you be actually getting from organic revenue, and how to get there, which is part of the analysis. If you want to get connected with us on that front, the growth audit, go to zonguru.link/growth audits. If you want a percentage off as a brand, you can go to zonguru.link20. I'll put this in the chat. And then as an agency, you can go to zonguru.link/EP, and we can connect there and show you some of our agency reporting and everything else there. So I hope that was useful, and just getting some of the thinking going around the PPC side. If you're struggling with profitable growth, we get it every single month. You're putting money down. You need a return on that money. What kind of return are you getting? Are you comfortable with AI automation running that? Are you exploring that? And what are the alternatives? If those are interesting to you, we can connect and just talk more about the experience. And certainly you can connect with Mike for sure on the PPC side. They have a lot of experience there as well. Hopefully that was great. I'm going to hand over to Mike in a second. Again, if you guys have questions, please put that into the chat, and we'll address those questions, and we'll bring that together towards the end as well. I see a couple of questions coming in, which is good. Mike, I'm going to hand over to you.
Awesome, John. I gotta say, I want to comment a little bit on
yeah, please.
Because one of the most common conversations I have with people about AI in advertising is I don't believe that Amazon gives you enough control to really make a true leave it alone, let an AI manage it system worthwhile. I am personally a lot more rule based, so I agreed with a lot of the conceptual things that you walked through. It does remind me about some of the stuff we even built back at Perch in the day too.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you guys have also tested kind of AI automation softwares out there, and clearly seen some results. But for you guys, in terms of your process, you guys lean on your own proprietary system, which has its own bidding rules per se that you've set up and built as well.
You got that right. Yeah, I think from even just my perspective, I like to use a combination of where we can automate things or use tools just to help scale. We, of course, want to do that, but we also don't want to leave ourselves sort of limited to the data that's available via APIs. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of that in my presentation, but there are some data points that just simply don't exist via any API. And so being able to be more rules-based where you have some manual data inputs is, in my opinion, a better way of going than just pretending those inputs simply don't exist.
100%. All right. Yeah. So let's jump in. I mean, and obviously, PPC is great, but it's all dependent on the baseline that you have. And a lot of that baseline comes from keyword intelligence, what kind of keywords you put into your listings, your PPC campaigns, wherever that comes from, right? And you can use tools like ZonGuru for that and get that. But again, there's other ways to get access to those data. Everyone's a seller, so essentially you get access to data, in different formats with different views. But that's what we're going to talk about. So let's go for it, Mike. And again, last question there, or last comment there. If you guys have questions, put it in their comments. We'll be collecting those and coming back to that towards the end with the round robin.
Beautiful. So let's make sure that the screen share is working correctly. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Beautiful. And John, I'm glad I'm not the only person using ChatGPT generated images for my.
Yeah. You know the spelling works well, right? Yeah.
I know, it's the best spelling. Okay, so we can dive in. I'm going to be talking about maximizing your keywords using free Amazon tools to conduct keyword research. In our time together, I'm going to intro some of these tools. Some of this might be review for some of you, especially if you've heard me speak before. For others, I want to make sure that we're lowering the barrier to entry and how to use these tools, talk about when to use it, some other helpful information, and common takeaways. So diving in, the two tools I'm going to recommend to everybody who, if you want to do keyword research, start here is Product Opportunity Explorer, as well as Brand Analytics, specifically Search Query Performance. Both of these are, I'll say there's going to be some overlap between the two tools, but you're also going to find some very specific use cases for each individual one. Starting with POE, this is really helpful to explore niches. So customer use cases, what are people searching for when they want to buy a specific ASIN? You can analyze a full year of trailing data. So it'll show you your trailing 360. It'll also give you some quarterly info in there as well in terms of our terms up or down on those trailing date ranges. We can see the top sellers per keyword, which I think is really helpful. So you can start to identify, okay, let's look at me. Let's look at our competitors that are actually showing up highly on these terms. One, am I competitive for these? And two, are these even the right terms for me to be going after if what people are clearly buying does not align with what I am selling? But you do have a limitation here. You can only see 25 terms per niche, and that's on the high end. There are some niches you'll look at that you only have 8 to 10 terms. So understand that you won't necessarily get the most volume from those niches. On the other side, we have brand analytics, search query performance, my personal favorite. And as of, I think last night is officially been announced as coming to the API itself, which is very exciting. In here, you can review your top 1,000 terms per brand. You can actually compare your conversion rates versus the conversion rates of other sellers on the market, at least on the whole. But similar limitation here, you're going to be viewing all of that based on a 24-hour cookie, meaning someone has to click and then purchase within 24 hours. I don't know, John or Dylan, what your rules of thumb are, but for me, it's about 30% or so of all sales on Amazon take place after 24 hours from the first click or add to cart. So when should you actually be using these tools, keeping those limitations in mind? Well, one, for Product Opportunity Explorer, I use this a lot when looking at net new products. If I don't already have existing data to go off of, then I can learn a whole lot more about a category or product group via Product Opportunity Explorer, whereas I really don't have any capabilities on SQP. I'll also use this to spoof my specific competitors. So if I want to understand just, again, what are the niches or terms that my competitors are most relevant for, I can put that into Product Opportunity Explorer. And I'll also know that my terms in here don't change much because it is a trailing 12-month look back. So I don't feel the need to re-pull this every week or necessarily even every month, but maybe once a quarter, it's good to do a refresh. On the SQP side, again, I love this, and this is my default tool for any product or brand where I have existing sales data. If I already know that I'm selling, then I'm going to get, in my opinion, a lot more actionable information, especially just bulk of keywords. Again, 1,000 versus 25. I love to use this to evaluate any tests I'm running on my PDP, if I'm changing primary images, if I'm changing just an aggressiveness strategy within my PPC itself. This will give you a better understanding on a term-by-term basis. Are you actually selling more, or are there just more searches taking place on Amazon over the past few weeks than the previous few? And I can really answer that question again. Is it my product that's performing well? Am I just riding the wave of the market? So how to use, and again, I want to make sure that any presentation I'm giving is as actionable as possible for all of you. So you'll navigate to brand analytics, search query performance. You can select your brand or your ASIN. I usually start with brand as well as the most recent complete month of data. If you do this in, call it 4 days, I think you're going to have all of February, for example. So you're getting this info at a really good time. You can download this to either Excel or Google Sheets. You do have to create some of your own custom calculations if you want to be doing conversion rate analysis. So I'll calculate the conversion rate for the entire market, and I'll calculate my conversion rate so I can compare the two. So other examples of how I might be using this. Oh, I think I just have a duplicate slide. That's okay. So other info to know in here. If you're not converting around the market average conversion rate, your ranks probably won't be sticky. I highly recommend to everybody, unless you are winning in another way. So for example, you're selling a premium version of a product, you have deeper pockets, you're making a lot more per unit than average competitors, then yeah, your conversion rates just might not be as high as the rest of the market, and that's okay. But I generally say that if you're not winning in either of conversion rate or revenue per click, I will assume that my rank, if I really push on the volume side of things, won't be sticky if I have to lose a lot of money in order to get that top rank. Once you stop paying money in ads, or once you stop running aggressive discounts, if you realize that you're at base pricing, at base advertising, you are not a good deal, your ranks will not stick. I've mentioned that the 30% of sales take place after the past 24 hours. And I'll also call out that if you're doing this at an ASIN level instead of at a brand level, you only get to see the top 100 terms per ASIN. That is child ASIN. You do not have the ability to pull this at a parent ASIN level. Okay, now we can shift on back over to Product Opportunity Explorer. So in POE, I generally like to start by just searching a customer use case or an ASIN if the use case I search is just too low volume. In this example, we have garlic press. I think that's everyone on Amazon's favorite thing to do a test search for, is garlic press. Search for whatever specific niche best applies to you. In this instance, you can see that while I searched garlic press, you can see garlic press itself is a niche, garlic press rocker, few different options. So you'll find out which one of these just looks like it's most relevant to your product. You'll click in on there, and by all means, these are free, so you can click in on all 4 of them if you so choose. After that, you can navigate to the search term tab. You will find up to those 25 terms per niche. And I like to focus on areas where it'll tell you the average conversion rate for the entire market. I like to look for the areas where you have the highest conversion rates. You can see in here, mincer is a relevant term, but has an average conversion rate of 2.5%. That is significantly lower than pretty much anything else in the top of this niche. I view that as more of maybe a research-based term, and I don't know if that's going to be as helpful for me, at least from an advertising strategy, if you want to use this to generate keyword lists for ads. I'll then take those terms, I will add them to my campaigns. A couple strategies I like to do. I'll grab all of these terms as exact match keywords with a bit higher bids, but then I'll also take them, populate them into any of my research or discovery campaigns, a phrase match with lower bids, just to try to cast a bit wider of a net. I also like to use these keywords to spruce up our product detail page titles and bullets if there are any terms that are just outright missing. John can correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perspective, having these terms in your titles and bullets is always going to be helpful for an SEO perspective. And another info to know here, if you aren't sure what niche to use, take your most relevant competitor ASIN. It'll show you what niches they are ranking for. So I find that to be a really helpful starting point. I have definitely myself gone through many instances where I might search 3-4 different keywords and nothing is popping up. So I say, all right, I'm just going to grab a competitor and I'm going to see what niches they show up for. And that usually gets the job done for me. I will say, though, that not all products or searches are big enough to generate a niche. So again, if you're going into a hyper-specific low-volume space, you might not find anything from this tool. And I'll also note that the data itself does not match fully with SQP. I generally find the numbers to still be directionally good, but I would say less accurate, knowing that it's coming from just some different underlying data tables on Amazon's end. And I do also like to call out the top terms section of brand analytics. So this is if you are not registered as a brand, but you still, as a seller, you will always have access to this data. I always love to just take a look. What are the top 1 million terms on Amazon that are ranked? You can start to see if you put in an ASIN or a niche or a brand, you can see what are all of the terms over you can actually get down to a daily level of segmentation. I do not recommend this, but you can do it. But you can start to see all of the different terms associated with any given ASIN, niche, brand that exist within Amazon's top 1 million search terms. So I find that this can be a helpful tool if, for whatever reason, again, Product Opportunity Explorer, maybe it's not loading in with data, then top terms or top search terms is going to be the next tool that you'll want to use. Other info for this tool is that you can only see the top 3 items per each, which is still helpful to identify where you have yourself fallen out of the top 3. This data is available to all sellers, of course, and again, you are limited to the top 1 million terms. So takeaways, again, make this as actionable as possible. How you want to use this? Well, 1, identify if any issues you as a seller are running into are based on visibility, traffic, or conversion. If you have visibility-based issues, I like to focus on changes to ad placements or my ranking strategies. If I am running into traffic-based issues, then I might want to really optimize my click-through rates. And so I might be using primary image testing or better coupon strategies. And if my issue is more conversion-oriented, pricing, value messaging, making sure that you have good videos on your page, or closing the gap with brand tailored promotions are all good tactics that I personally have used to close the loop where I feel like my conversion rates themselves are just off a little bit. Now I'll get into the sort of bonus content. What do you, if you like hearing me talk and you want some more, I do have a free case study that I'll also happily share in the links with everybody, but you can go to bit.ly/BASQP headphones case study. Or if you actually just want me personally to analyze your market and analyze your advertising account, and you're spending $10,000 a month or more, then reach out to us at igppc.com/contact. If you include ZonGuru in your text field there, then you can guarantee that I personally will be the person to review things with you. Or you want to put Mike Frekey, really anything that just lets our whole team know, like, hey, you came from this webinar. We want to make sure that we're treating you right. Okay, and I think that does it. I'm happy to pass things over to Dylan to hear what he has to say.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's awesome. I want to ask you a quick question, but so how do you, these strategies, how do you put that into your guys' process with brands? Right? Is it kind of upfront, more of like an audit style process, or is it an ongoing thing, or how do you kind of bring those various strategies into the clients that you work with?
I love this question. Okay, so for our audits, we do include brand analytics data wherever we possibly can. And I like to start with brand analytics data upfront in the audit process, because that is such an important process within our day-to-day optimizations. So as of right now, I have my team manually downloading our weekly and monthly brand analytics performance reports, so that we have certain processes that use this for keyword research, as we just reviewed. We also have processes where we use this more for, let's just track your place in the market and understand if there are massive changes. So we can talk about it, we can ideate new strategy changes. We're doing this manually right now. This is coming out in API literally as we speak. I think the timeline I have right now is within the next couple of weeks, we should be able to get this set up for most of our accounts fully via the API. And that'll just allow us to go even faster on identifying where are there massive changes. So everything that I'm talking about in here isn't just a, hey, let's do this once upfront, get an understanding of your brand, and then leave it and move on to other things. But this is actually part of our, I'll call it day-to-day optimizations and how we're evaluating the clients that we work with.
Awesome. Good. Okay. Yeah, that's super helpful. I mean, yeah, we'll come back to the question at the end. I think there's a great question from Chris, so we'll come back to that at the end. So thank you, Mike. Really cool to hear you dive into that. I mean, you guys focus on PPC, but clearly, this area is massively important and a baseline for any brand. So I'm really glad you guys get into that data. Dylan, all right, we're going to hand over to you. What you got, and let's go for it.
All right. Are you guys seeing my screen all right?
Yes.
I have no idea how to get rid of this browser tab at the top, but that's fine, I guess. Yeah. I tried to use AI picture as well, but I just can't do that. It just doesn't get the prompt right, so I didn't choose to use the AI picture. I just did all the pictures that I can use. Okay. So thank you for having me today, John. And yeah, I mean, Mike has an amazing presentation. Like SQP is definitely something that we use to rank our keyword as well. And in here, today we're going to talk about omnichannel strategies. Like at first, I would try to skip through a bit fast because I thought I think I'm over prepared right now in here. There's too much slides here, so I would just maybe speak faster. So Omirank, like we were like a PPC agency at start in China. We helped more than like 50 sellers in China to scale the PPC, and then we went on to help them to launch an external funnel rather than just focus on Amazon. We help them to start Kickstarter, Meta ad, and Google as well to make sure that they don't put all that in one basket in a nutshell. Okay, so who we serve, like we help people who want to optimize their Amazon PPC and also who are ready to scale beyond PPC as well. We do things in a Chinese way. You can see that we are using Gather Town. All our employees here. we work like flexibly, like that's our culture in Omirank. And yeah, I mean, I guess like the Chinese way makes us like faster, like more efficient, because that's what intended in the into us ourselves. Okay, so what will you learn in this webinar? In this webinar, I hope you will understand why relying solely on Amazon is risky, and discover multiple channel strategy that can reduce risk, grow your customer base, and increase profitability, so you can exceed your brand with a higher multiple. Now let's talk about the biggest risk of relying solely on Amazon, which everyone have the same problem: cash flow stress. Especially if you went out of stock, you will have to invest into keyword ranking again. And once you're back in stock, you will still need to pay for at least 2,000 to rank back the previous position. We call it like choose cost, the choose of our stock, the true cost of our stocks. Okay, so yeah, we totally make it up because it's too expensive to get our stock. And of course, we get like competitors attack, listing takedown, hijackers, and account suspension out of the blue, and branding registry issue, right? And you know, everyone knows that in the year-by-year increase in advertising costs and fulfillment fees each of the years that just shrink our profits. So here's another biggest issue: like after all your hard work, you launch a product, after like 3 to 6 months, you suddenly like your customer just doesn't recognize your brand. They don't care about your logo, your mission, your product story. All they remember is they bought it from Amazon. Think about it. When you ask your friends or like a customer where did you buy it, they will say, "Oh, I got it on Amazon." It's not, "I got it from ABC brand" or your brand name. This means that you are building Amazon's business, not your own. If you want to build a brand that people recognize and return to you, you must have a strategy beyond Amazon, and that's exactly what we'll cover next. So instead of relying 100% on Amazon, here's what you need to do. You want to build, grow, and scale using various methods. So we call this like FPPL flywheel, because like FPPL long-term stand for future-proof product launch flywheel as our approach to scale brands. As a strong first, I think like in the build part is all about like I'm speaking toward like when we are building Amazon brand. That's why like it's all about Amazon PPC campaign. Like I know that that's what Mike and John is good at as well. I will just be quick in here because that's the fundamental as well. First, like you want to have a very structured campaign. You don't want to have a bunch of untractable campaign wasting your budget. You want to focus on ranking your keyword to lower your tag costs and increase visibility. And you want to rank 1 to 2, 3 keyword at a time. Use search engine query performance to find out all the keyword that you want to focus on, and then make sure that they stick. They don't just like outrank. On average, we create cases. Ask Amazon, why is our keyword is not indexed like 2 times a week. So that is how you should diligently like focus on building your keyword for your listing to make sure that they're not gonna go out of stock or like going mystery. Okay, so and you want to optimize weekly as well, and also you want to try all the ad type and also all the placement and video ad, because video ads is the key to outwin everything. So we are still in the build stage. You can see that Amazon is very important, where we have like I would suggest you to use DSP and Amazon Cloud as well, because that data that they gave you is actually important. I know I've been quick because like those are what Mike and John have been talking about. So I want to be quick in the build stage. Okay, and then of course, like if you want to know about how we scale our campaign, how we run ad, we have like courses on Kickstarter, how to launch on TikTok and Amazon as well. So if you want that, you can go to our website to sign up for the course. Now, no matter what, during the build stage, you want to register for a TikTok account, because TikTok account, no matter what, you will start using it. Just to get it done, eventually you will use it to build your community, repurpose content from your main platform, etc., etc. Okay, now we're in the growth stage. Okay, so in the growth stage, what we focus on is using TikTok. Amazon and TikTok is actually a very goes hand in hand. You cannot like just scale on Amazon without TikTok in 2025. Back in the days, 2021, you might be able to do that because like there's still people don't know how to run ad. There's still people don't know how to utilize all the deals, all the vouchers, etc., right? And then back in the days, you still get like black hat tactic people is using, etc. But nowadays, Amazon is such an eco place right now. You cannot use any more kind of like trying to pay down. You can't do that anymore. So TikTok is what we do right now. We all of the people would have to go to TikTok to facilitate a multi-channel strategy. So start sending product to TikTok and Amazon. Use both fulfillment center to grow your channel hands in hands when you try to grow your brand. You want to, when it comes to building influencer and partnership, the new way and the old way. I don't know if you were here like back in the days, like maybe 2 years ago when TikTok is not that big yet, right? What we do is we have to go on to YouTube. You go on to ask them, hey, you have to like do the lead hunting, manual outreach, and then eventually they will quote you, hey, yeah, I can do a video for you that will cost you $1,000 per video, right? That is like exactly the effort that we were seeing like back in like 2 years ago. Well, 5 years ago it might be like 200, but like year by year, like those content creators just ask for more, right? And now TikTok comes in. It makes it so much easier. You can just get quality UGC for free because most of the creator, they want to become your affiliate. If you're serious about your brand growth, start a TikTok shop is your first step. Not just for sales, but to build a community around your brand. Here's the 4 proven strategy to succeed on TikTok without spending on ads, which is, again, influencer marketing using open collaboration and target collaboration. This is a non-negotiable things to do in today's age. Back in, say, in 2024, you should be doing that already. And then using live session, showcase product in real life, engage potential buyers, and post consistently to attract organic followers and build trust. And use bot to automate outreach to increase visibility and scale efficiently on try to collaborate with the influencer. And then once you have the UGC, the user generated content from your content creator, you want to repurpose them to build momentum. Where do you want to repurpose them? You want to repurpose them in Amazon video ad, right? Display ad. You want to do it on Google ad, Google Shop, Google Meta ad. You want to update your EBC. You want to update your storefront, your related video section in Amazon, your Shopify store showcase, and of course, use it in email marketing as well. It's all about trying to snowball all the things that to help your brand to really shape that goodwill and trust as well for your audience. So, right. So yeah, I mean, not just like repurposing to the those platforms that you're selling at, to YouTube, Facebook, Pinterest. Nowadays, you don't have to upload it one by one. Like back in the days, you really have to have someone upload it one by one. Right now, you can just use make.com, use AI to help you repurpose to all the content into the right platform. Even they will write the copywriting for you as well. Well, okay, so we use bot as well to find more influencer, rinse and repeat, get more and more UGC. That would prep you to the scale stage, right? And of course, in the growth stage, you still want to build your community. If you are just trying to scale on Amazon and post on TikTok, what's lacking is a bunch of people who talk about your brand. And that's why you want to focus on Facebook or Reddit to build your own presence. You want to utilize those UGC as well to nurture your community. And that is actually helping your Google SEO ranking as well. Speaking of SEO ranking, you want to do the SEO website as well. You don't want to just use AI to write your SEO content. You want to use software plus AI to help you churn out content that is not going to be punished by Google. You're going to write SEO AI content, and that is actually providing value for your audience, and therefore you're going to be ranked on Google, right? And again, like once you're in the scale stage, oh, are we in the scale stage? Okay. So once you're in the growth stage, sorry, this is the wrong one. In the growth stage, you still want to further optimize your Amazon deal. I mean, you want to scrape your competitors' deals and then find out when they're running and when they're not running. When they're running it, you want to pick it back their traffics on the listing by running ad to them. And then if they are not running it, then you want to run your own, so you can just stand up from the crowd, right? So your orange badge thing on your Amazon listing is going to be stand out. So you want to combine PPC with well-timed Amazon deal to create your momentum, to boost ranking easily, and send signals to Amazon that you are actually a better seller than others, and therefore you are having a higher BSR, bestseller ranking. So let's get into scaling finally. When it comes to scaling, you need to make sure that the build stage, which is the brand fundamental, and then the growth stage, which is pay and earn media, is done right. Otherwise, you won't have time and asset to scale your brand, right? Imagine if you're juggling Amazon PPC ad ways while you're also optimizing your Google Shopping ad, right? Then you're just going to be like over the place. Or imagine you want to start running a meta ad without and then in all of a sudden you just realize, oh, I don't have enough asset to do retargeting or remarketing on Google, right? And that is another problem. So you want to really do the build stage and growth stage right before you start scaling. Start by tracking the performance metrics before you scale, so you know where you're good at and where you're bad at, especially as your CPC, CPA, and whether or not if your average order value is high enough to run external ad, and if your lifetime value is good enough, and most importantly, if your brand is ready for inventory health. I mean, for inventory, because if in all sudden you try to scale from TikTok and Amazon to external ad, but if you realize you cannot sustain that kind of quantity of order, then eventually your main business, which is your Amazon and TikTok, is going to be suffer as well, and you will be and your cash flow is going to be facing problem. Now, say when every lowest hanging fruit has been implemented, then you should be working on your physical product funnel. Physical product funnel is the ultimate weapon to make your ad profitable in a competitive marketplace. It work by attracting customer with a low ticket product and then upsell them with high ticket product. This approach maximizes revenue per customer, so you can outspend competitors on ad and scale your business sustainably. The mechanism start with a low ticket product, which is a cheaper CPA, because if you have to sell a high ticket product, it's going to be hard to acquire a customer without a huge spend. And therefore, you want to start by low ticket product, and then you want to go on to use high ticket product at the back end to increase the average order value. If you don't have a low ticket product, you should create a tester for your product, or maybe a complementary product as in a low ticket product. If you don't have a high ticket one, you should craft one as soon as possible, or you can come to us. We can help you audit how to create a high ticket product. So it gives, I mean, a low ticket product, it gives you the permission to sell a high ticket product. So they goes hands in hands. You cannot have just low ticket with the high ticket. With the low ticket, you're going to be losing margin. With the high ticket, you're not going to be able to run ad smoothly, because you're going to be suffer high CPC, high CPA. With the low ticket, you're going to be have a high CPA as well. And then
hey, Dylan, just a time check, just a couple more minutes. That'd be great.
Okay, yeah. And then you want to combine the low CPA on the front end and high revenue on the back end to create a scalable system. For example, we help a pet brand selling pet toys partner with pet insurance company, and then we increase the average order value from 20 to 150 using smart bundling, and upsell can drastically help them to increase profitability. Another example is about we help selling vitamins, which is like we use a quiz funnel to gain customer trust. We position ourselves as a doctor, as in like a surgery, as in like a health specialist, and then customer take a quiz. We ask them about their health goal, lifestyle, and concern. We provide tailored supplement plan, and then based on the answer, we recommend the right vitamin, and they build trust, and then actually increase the conversion rate for the upsell, because it eliminates the objection when someone trusts us. And then it also positions ourselves, our upsell, as in a smart and necessary when we're trying to upsell them a 30 days supplies to 90 days supplies, meaning when they have the low ticket already, when they buy into the low ticket already, when we position ourselves as an expert, it means that they have one less objection to say yes to the upsell, because they're not thinking whether or not if this guy is creditable. They're thinking whether or not if they need that. Okay, so I guess yeah, I mean, this is about like you can use cross sales as well in your funnel to make sure that like it will increase the average order value. Now, lastly, I'm just gonna skip through faster. Cart optimization. You want to optimize your cart with bundle and save, and also you want to have a call to action to let people know, hey, buy now, you will get the extra gifts. So that's part of the optimization. And also subscribe and save is also an important feature as well for helping yourself to have a constant revenue instead of just a one-off customer. And also, this is another example from a very good brand. They are using tier-based pricing. A single box costs £30, but buying 2 or 3 boxes significantly reduced per unit price, making the bigger bundle more attractive. And also the badges there, you can see that most popular and best value. It's just mimicking in Amazon Prime seller only, or maybe a coupon or deal, right? So again, mobile optimize it and make sure that it's visible. And also the roadmap is just like that. We want for the build stage, and then it's like around 3 months, and then for the growth stage, for that will be 2 months, and then for the scale stage, it should be right after 4 months. You can start scaling your brand. So I think that's it for the webinar. If you guys are interested to know more, if you have any question, want to continue about the conversation and get more valuable insight and scale your e-commerce business effectively, you can scan the QR code. This will give you access to exclusive resource, strategy, and our course to help you take action today. Okay, that's it. Thank you for everyone. I will just pass the mic back to John.
Yeah, Dylan, that was awesome. I definitely wanted that to run long because I think you had so much great information there. Everyone listening here needs to be an e-commerce brand outside of Amazon. Amazon is definitely one of the best channels, but it's how you use that to get your business going and grow beyond that, which I think you covered there in a fantastic way. I'm sure you guys all have these brands that come to you and they're like, okay, we're kind of doing well on the Amazon US market, and we're going to, open in Europe, or we're going to open in X, Amazon marketplace, or we're going to try and expand our line. And there's definitely important points in a business evolution where those are the right channels, but they're not always the right ones when they're presented. And sometimes just expanding beyond Amazon with your current product to channels, your Shopify, etc., is critical. And I think if those brand owners want to really understand, do they have a USP? Do they have a true brand? Those kind of strategies are really going to help prove that out, right? And show if they have really quality products. So super cool stuff. I think, if you have links there, put it in there because there was so much to unpack there, and we'll come back to that. So let's jump into Q&A. I think we have a couple of questions there. One for Dylan and one for Mike for sure. I have a couple here as well. We'll just take a few minutes, and I think we'll end with asking both of all three of us what is our one piece of advice for our listeners for 2025. So we'll come back to that at the end, and you guys can give your best one piece of advice at the end. But let's just go through a couple of questions quickly. the one question I actually want to start with, well, let's start with Mike. Let's go to the question here we had from Mike, from Chris. Chris Bart said, hey, Mike, after what time will you verify your campaign based on product opportunity explorer data? What will you do, increase or lower? How many products to promote in this campaign?
Yeah, so a handful of questions in here. I'll do my best to answer all of them. One, in terms of how many questions or how many products am I using, I do prefer parent-focused campaigns. So I'll either take all of my children in a campaign for one parent in the same campaign, or I'll just select a couple of core, like if I have variations where I know, like, hey, I have one or two bestsellers, I maybe only run on those two bestsellers, and I keep everything else maybe in low bid only campaigns. As far as when am I starting to evaluate things, I'll say it slightly differs between, is this a actual net new product versus am I just launching new campaign or new keywords on an existing product that has plenty of sales already. In either situation, I would say I generally want to be able to evaluate things within the first, call it, week. I think 1 day, 2 day, or more so to saying, am I serving whatsoever? Do I actually get traffic? And then after that, I want to give myself about a week to start to see, am I seeing sales come through? After that point, I actually like to not, I basically ignore Product Opportunity Explorer from that point forward, and I shift over to brand analytics. And that's when I start doing my analysis. What is my conversion rate versus the market conversion rate on these terms? And that, again, I'm specifically thinking for net new products. I don't care as much if my conversion rates are bad, meaning, okay, pack it up, we're done here. No, that means, okay, I have a brand new product. I need to understand, do I need to be changing my price going forward? Do I need to be changing my product detail page going forward? If the entire market is averaging a 10% conversion rate and you're at 2% conversion rate and you're unwilling to launch with significant deals up front, okay, well, you're probably going to need to change your expectations if that's the case.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there, and cool insights into how you guys optimize and look at the data, which is super cool. Okay, so let's go over to Angela Singleton. She has a question for Dylan, and it's actually the question that I have here as a follow-up as well. But Angela was asking, like, is your omni-channel strategy to drive external traffic to your Amazon listing, or is it just for website external presence? I mean, I know, clearly from that presentation, this is about growth and sales beyond Amazon, but I think it's kind of an interesting question for you to give your insight on, is like, with those external strategies, how are you using that for TikTok example? Are there specifics around actually driving traffic to Amazon for growth, or is it just relying on the halo effect from the external traffic and awareness that you're driving? Maybe you can talk a little bit to that.
That's a very good question. It's not the first time that being asked. So it really depends whether or not if you want to diversify your risk outside of Amazon, because there's a lot of sellers that we work with. They really think about, like, they just hate Amazon. They want to just experience the traffic outside of Amazon and create this sustainable growth if even Amazon is not there. So they want to build a true brand. If we really want to build a true brand, like it all comes down to your product. If your product type is more of like a commodity, right, then to be fair, no matter how you advertise, you won't get any result. I mean, you can't expect selling just food container on TikTok that you will be able to get a mass amount of traffic, right? So for that answer, that will become you should focus on Amazon. Put it back to Amazon, get the brand referral bonus, use the attribution to scale your business. But then if you are a product owner, that a brand that would innovate, that would always come up with new product, or your product is unique enough to trigger emotional selling, or it could be a interactive like kind of ad that can emotionally have people buy in when they see your ad, then you have the freedom to choose whether or not to go to Amazon or TikTok. In this case, I would strongly advise you to do both, because we use Amazon as in, like, whenever a ranking is getting lower, whenever you're trying to re-rank, you send it to Amazon. And then if you're not trying to re-rank your Amazon ranking, then in that stage, you want to grow your outside brand presence, and that's why you should balance both instead of just trying to send all to Amazon or send all to TikTok.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. And the beauty of brands that grow beyond Amazon is that you have this other lever that you can use, right? And you use it at the right time. Hey, if your business outside of Amazon is dipping, there's ways you can leverage Amazon to drive that, or vice versa. If your Amazon business is dipping, you can then leverage your outside traffic to boost that and grow it. So it's this kind of cyclical back and forth effect, and then there's a halo effect where both grow as well. So super cool. We're out of time. I think. Well, I've got one question, and then we're going to come to the one piece of advice for 2025. The last one here is just the question of, is keyword intelligence optimization going away because of Rufus? That was a question up front, and I think. That question gets asked all the time, and I think it's a little bit of a hook that everyone's using in marketing right now. Of like, hey, there's a new way to optimize listings. At the end of the day, listings on Amazon used to be pretty archaic in the way that you would do it, and you could keyword stuff, which has been literally something that hasn't been done on other platforms for a long time. And now it's more, and everyone's like, oh, well, keyword SEO optimization is going away. No, it's not. That's the baseline of what is going to be used to prompt any type of AI intelligence. What's the baseline keywords that you should be using? But at the end of the day, you've got to have a great product, a great USP, and a great listing that communicates the narrative of how your product should be used, and extend that narrative to various different types of extraneous use cases that your product can be used. So think of all the behaviors, use cases, experiences that your product can be used, and make sure that that's captured at a high level in your listing. So keyword intelligence is definitely not going away. It's in fact a very important prompt for any AI algorithm out there. But just making sure your listings are more consistent, concise, is going to be really critical for you as you go forward on Amazon specifically. Okay, guys, let's go to the last question here, which is at a high level, if you can share one piece of advice for 2025, if you can share one piece of advice for 2025 to help Amazon sellers scale, what would be that piece of advice that you would share? Anyone want to go first? Mike, Dylan?
Yeah, I can take it. So I think from my side, and probably going to sound a little bit like a broken record on this, but use as many data points as you possibly can. With SQP coming to the API, with the merging of the Amazon Marketing Cloud coming to actually being biddable within your advertising campaigns, and with Product Opportunity Explorer actually now being on the vendor side as well under a different name, but it's all the same data. Just understand that there's always more being added, and don't rest on the laurels of data points that you had yesterday if there's new things being made available today.
100%. And if you need help, obviously visualizing that data and focusing on the right data points, because data is data if there's a lot, but you got to really kind of understand what is the true pieces to focus on. Clearly ZonGuru does in our tool, but you can reach out to Mike and everyone else here. They'll have very strong opinions on what kind of data you should be focused on. All right, Dylan, one piece of advice for 2025.
I got asked about this question last year. I answered like system optimization. But for this year, I would say it will be try to run a crowdsource campaign to improve the cash flow of your current state by using crowdfunding or using TikTok to help you increase the overall business, because otherwise you're always trying to invest in inventory, and then eventually you just find yourself you're not able to take a lot of profit from it. And to escape that situation, we really have to bootstrap the business by using crowdsourcing.
Yeah, very cool. I think that's a good strategy as part of the other ones that you have as well, which are good. And then I think from my side, in terms of 2025 advice, what I would say to brand owners out there is, a lot of the brands I speak to, they don't have a strong brand strategy. They haven't documented their brand positioning, their brand tone, their brand guidelines, their brand objectives, right? And now more than ever, it's easier to do because you can use AI to help you formulate that and ask the right questions. Sometimes you might, as a brand owner, not know what kind of questions you should answer. And there's certainly a lot of easy ways that you can use AI to help guide you to answer the right questions. And it's more important than ever now because of, the AI and, data out there is really pushing us as brand owners to be much more specific and, focused on our USPs and crafting that brand. And if you have that intelligence, it's really can help, you can help use that in a customized way for every kind of activity that you do. So I would encourage every brand here, if you don't have brand guidelines, brand positioning, brand strategy, formulate that. And you can be guided along the way by using certain prompts to really get that down on paper. And I think it's a critical area to focus on. And we do that with our clients, and we're using that in our AI technology, and it's making a massive difference on the customized strategies that you can execute on. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. If there are any other questions here, we'll get back to you. There will be a replay. There will be this will be shared on LinkedIn, especially on the snippet around the best advice for 2025. And we'll tag everyone here. So check us out on LinkedIn. We'll be on YouTube, and look forward to the next one. Next month, there'll be another behind the curtain, look into agency secrets and how they can help you grow your brand on Amazon. There'll be another one next month and the month after that. So hope to see you guys there. And thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dylan. Appreciate all your time. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.